It is time for King Henri II to tour his grand realm on today's episode. Hello, everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel and Crusader Kings 3. Obviously, the last episode was a little bit shorter, but it was... there was a lot going on in it. When you look at finally ending that North African crusade after 8 long years, and then discovering how the Mongols have conquered Europe, or at least most of it. And this episode, we will be focusing internally on both a grand tour of the realm, but also to take a look at culture. So, we can reform the Angevin culture. We've got 4 of a possible 8. We've got 10,000 in prestige, so we can do some stuff here. So we will establish a new tradition, and we will take a look at that tradition and what we want to do. Now, this is, of course, now based on Henri. Henri is more a diplomat and a learning steward kind of guy, not warfare. So we're going to look both at realm and social. So realm-wise, astute diplomats, of course, stands out. Cannot attack allies, cannot attack through a truce. Alliance negotiation acceptance plus 50. White peace acceptance plus 10. Can learn 1 additional language without any penalties. Learn language scheme power plus 25%. So that's not a bad one. Collective lands, granting counties to commoners increases county control and makes them a peasant leader. I don't think that really fits him. Culture blending, hybrid culture creation cost, minus 75%. Rulers of this culture use the learned language scheme more often. Cultural acceptance gain plus 25%. So this is actually kind of nice because we are merging so many cultures now within Aragon. Equal inheritance can enact equal gender law. Esteemed hospitality. Rulers are less likely to have courtiers and guests join hostile schemes against them. Maybe. Family business. Base progress and skill impact on counselor task is increased by plus 10% for close family members. Court position aptitude for close family members plus 20. Maybe. Temple builders, that's not really their thing. Forest folk. Also not really. Garden architects. Rulers can construct the Royal Gardens Duchy building. Hill dwellers, hill farms, line of buildings, additional bonuses. Isolationist. No, there's definitely not isolationists. Marital ceremonies, skills from spouse, counselor task plus 25%. Cannot use any divorce interactions. The adulterer and fornicator traits are despised. Legalistic, law cost penalty from realm size minus 50%. The just trade is more common. Just trade has additional bonuses. Vassal acceptance of rightful criminal punishment plus 20. So all Angevin characters. Tyranny gain plus 25%. Vassal limit, etc., etc. Metal workers. That's not really in line there. Parochialism. City holdings give more taxes, development, and levies. City holding significantly lowers control gain. So the construction cost goes down. That's not bad. Pastoralists, I don't think so. Ruling caste. Different culture, peasant factions and populist factions are less common. Staunch traditionalists. And state ransoming. You know, of these that are more in line with him are either legalistic or honestly astute diplomats. Now let's take a look at social. So, charismatic. Children tend to be better in the diplomacy education. Children are more likely to get the charming trait. Personal scheme success chance plus 10%. Charismatic's not bad. He's likable. He is liked. Charismatic. I like that one. Charitable. Generous and compassionate trait. No, I like charismatic. Equitable. The just trade is more common. The honest trade is more common. Hostile scheme power, minus 30%. Expert artisans, eye for an eye. Vengeful, it's not his thing. Forbearing, patient. And com trait is more common. Industrious, so gain 25 development growth when a building is constructed. Life is just a joke. Gregarious, content, cynical, fickle traits are good. Loyal subjects. Vassal of this culture do not consider differing faith or culture when joining factions. Vassals of this culture will often learn the language of their liege. Okay, that's not bad. Mystics, not really. Modest. Chaste, content, humble, shy, temperate traits give bonuses. Ambitious trait is looked down upon. Temperate trait is more common. Noble adoption. Characters of this culture are able to offer adoption to children who are not directly related to any rulers. That's not bad. Hunters, no. Refined poetry, no. Ritualized friendship. Automatically has access to the befriend scheme. May ask friends to become best friends. Best friends receive strong hooks on each other. Okay. Storytellers, not really. Spartan, also not really. Strong believers. Right to prove, no. Xenophilific, no. Here I would say charismatic is actually a pretty nice one. So diplomacy is his bent. What do we have here ritually? Got by the sword, bound by faith. Only characters of the same faith can inherit. Concubines, frequent festivities. Linguists. That's not a bad one. I really don't do the learn language often enough. I need to do that more often. Monogamous. Characters can only have one spouse. It's not really a major thing. Tabletop warriors. Do like games. And then in warfare, I don't... I'm going to go through here. There's nothing really in here. He's not warrior related. So I think actually charismatic will be an addition to this. It fits who he is. So we did a little bit of reform there, and now we are going to begin our royal grand tour of the northern reaches of the Kingdom of Aragon. My arrival at Countess... Oh, let's see, you languished in your prison. Oops. My arrival at Countess Guillomette's castle in Men is marked with fanfare benefiting the king of the realm, and the locals are clearly awed by the grandeur and pomp of my escort. My vassal dutifully receives me with all requisite deference. Guillaumet outlines the planned tour and assures me Men is so fair and fine a land that merely gazing on her towns and fields will be entertainment enough. Only time will tell. Let's get to it. Countess Guillemette has been quite the gracious host so far, showing me her lands and possessions with pride, so I'm immediately taken aback when she starts stammering and clearly trying to draw my attention away from an apparently unremarkable door we are passing by. Are you hiding something from me, Guillemette? I take advantage of the moment of stunned, shameful, guilty silence to push the door open, and I'm surprised by what I find: a hidden pantry stuck to the ceiling with foreign spices, seasoned meat, honey, and barrels of salt. It's only fair to share this with your king. I'll pretend I didn't see this. Wandering the countryside of Men, I happen across what seems to be a gathering of peasants in a small hamlet. Accompanied by their proud owners, plump and healthy livestock graze, looking good enough to take a bite out of right as they are. The peasants occasionally bring their goods to be judged, analyzing their size and health. They seem to be holding some sort of festival, and as soon as I'm noticed, they're eager to show me the fruits of their labor. We should survey these lands. But he's a little bit lazy. Wouldn't really do that. This is a waste of time. Get back to your fields. No, that's kind of mean. How wonderful. I'll judge the contest. Yes. Barony of Le Mans seems like a truly opulent and excessive place, with a bloated countess as its ruler. Everywhere I look, I see signs which all point to one thing: undeclared taxable amenities. The livestock count seems much higher than reported. The countess' abode seems almost luxurious enough to be for a king. Isanrich suggests that I should tax this excess, since Countess Guillemette of Men has clearly not been paying her dues. Tax the Countess. But he's forgiving. You know what? I'll just write them off for now. He's a forgiving king. A parting demand. I have concluded my royal visitation of men, and now my procession prepares to depart. Countess Guillemette of men and her court have all lined up neatly to see me part. And with everyone present, it is time to collect a tribute for bestowing her with my presence. It's time for the tribute, or I make no demands. I think it's time for a tribute. We have reached Alençon. My vassal dutifully receives me with all requisite deference. It's Count Hugh of Alençon. He outlines a planned tour and assures me all will be great. Let's get to it. In the meantime, I do want to take a quick look, as there are a lot of potential claims here. If there are any that would be of interest, I mean, Greater Poland, that's an interesting one, but Mazovia, Augsburg, Carinthia, Holstein, Swabia, Bavaria and Luxembourg, Ural, Upper Burgundy, Armagnac, the Duchy of Bourbon, and the Duchy of Savoy. So Savoy, Armagnac, or Bourbon. Let's take a closer look here at the de jure duchy titles. So we've got Armagnac down here, Savoy over here, and Bourbon right there. So Bourbon is central here, so I mean, you could eat all of Brittany as well. Savoy, that takes care of this part of Aquitaine. Armagnac is significantly more of interest, so yes, we will scroll down here, and, you know, I will take that claim, or at least request the claim for Armagnac. And good. We have been given the claim of the Duchy of Armagnac. Let's actually take a look real quick at the claims. So the Duchy of Aragon, of course, the Duchy of Tyrol. These are both unpressed. Then Burgundy Provence is another pressed one, and Armagnac now as well. And then a lot of counties. So there are a few more we could look for that I think we will. Schemer discovered. My spy master has come to me with grave news. As my vassal Countess Melisande is plotting against my courtier Eleanor. Chivalrous friend, or lecherous even. As I am taken to see all the sights of the barony of Alençon, I'm beginning to notice the absolute opulence of it all. Though merely a count, Hugh lives in relative luxury and clearly has more than enough coin to go around. Looking at the sheer number of windows in this abode, I could introduce a window tax and bleed the count of his excess. He's forgiving again. This isn't his, like, this would have been his mother or one of his grandfathers or uncles or so on for sure. But that's not who Henri is as a king. We have some internal wars here. Duke Thierry of Languedoc is at war with Prince André of Aragon. So our son is trying to basically reclaim things. What in the world has happened to my daughter Arsinde? She is all bruised and beaten, and she refuses to name who did this to her. Was it an older child, or did she pester a noble to the point of fury? If so much as a pin drops, Arsine will be running for the safety of an empty closet. Poor girl seems to live in constant fear. Run, hide, and never give your foes a chance to hurt you. No. It's not craven. Avoid people and you will be safe. Not really. There are enemies everywhere. You must learn that. So Gaines paranoid. We've got a little bit of stress. We've gained a hook on Count Hugh. As Count Hugh is showing me around Alençon, we come to the military training grounds. All his men at arms have assembled, and the air is buzzing with anticipation. Hugh cracks a toothy grin. My liege, we have heard so many stories of your great prowess. I would be remiss to pass up on an opportunity to show these soldiers what a real sparring session looks like. Would you spar with Alphonse for the good of the realm? He's got pretty good prowess, actually. Sure. I'll do that. Your host has paid you to look away from a certain room, okay. I find myself curious to see how the lowlives of Alençon live, so I pay a visit to an establishment where the locals seem to be growing quite rowdy. One man stands atop a table, commanding the attention of everyone in earshot. What do we even need a count for anyway? Hugh is the most loathsome ogre I've ever seen, yet he expects our undying loyalty. The entire building erupts into thumping and applause. Clearly, my count is not popular in his own home. Arrest these traitors. No, that's not his thing. Do not speak ill of the count. Have at you. These peasants have the right idea. No, do not speak ill of the count. Oh no, gain the trait wounded. Oh, got in a little bit of a kerfuffle there. And it looks like somebody beat the crap out of the king. I've concluded my royal visitation of Alençon, and now my procession prepares to depart. So we will ask for a tribute. We've gained 150 further prestige, and we are now no longer wounded, thankfully. You can see we're on our way here through northern France. And Marguerite is no longer a wet nurse. That's fine. We have now arrived at Count Aubre's castle in Avranches, and outlines the planned tour, etc., etc., etc. Perfect. Hook on you has been gained. Poachers. As I and my entourage ride along, I hear murmurs echoing through the grounds. I order a boy to ride ahead, and when he returns, he informs me that there's a gang of illegal poachers just ahead of us. It is no concern of mine. It would doubtlessly ingratiate me to my vassal Count Aubray if I were to rid the grounds of this illegal activity. Could round up the ruffians and present their heads and hands to Count Aubray of Avranches. Do we avoid them? No, he's not scared. It is time for a hunt. This is legal matters. So 99% outcome. Count Aubray gains 15 opinion. You gain 15 opinion of him. Every county title within Aubray's realm. Control level will change plus 10. County of Avranches gains local terrorized for 15 years. Hey, we have discovered the guilds. Excellent. So let's take a look real quick and see what the guilds will do. So guilds can build small caravanserai, unlocks high medieval era economic buildings, additional building slots plus 1. So we're getting slowly but surely everywhere. Primogeniture, still 11 years away from adding that. And we've got a new diplomacy lifestyle perk. We'll go with adaptive traditions. So I am going to start learning Iberian Vulgar. Might as well begin said scheme, because that is something I, in general, tend to neglect. I just honestly forget about it, but it is something you should do. Your wisdom and mercy are legendary. I have been a good vassal to you, but surely you understand that I have subjects of my own too. My current contract is very restrictive. So Count Hugh, the Devil of Alençon, is using that weak hook against us. Taxable extravagance. So again, it's the window tax thing. We're going to let him off because that's what we do. Out of turn, grand tour. During the tour of the barony of Avranches, I am locked in a conversation with my vassal Count Aubray about the importance of information and deception when he is interrupted by one of his courtiers. The man is not allowed to speak for long before being silenced by his liege, but the wisdom he is able to dispense immediately proves he knows far more about the subject than Count Aubray of Avranches could ever dream of knowing. If Count Aubray is unwilling to listen to his insight, perhaps he would be willing to join my court instead. Wow, he's actually pretty good. Join me at court. And even though that hurts with stress, and stress is a very important thing, I did a whole guide on health and stress. Sometimes you make a decision that's game-wise, it's not optimal. I've always talked about this, that I don't do optimal things here. Oh, shedding the mortal coil. As I continue my tour around the grounds of Barony of Avranches, I hear unfamiliar voices all around us. Suddenly, I find my entire party surrounded by men in hoods pointing knives and bows directly at me. One of the assassins steps towards me and presses his knife firmly to my side. Happy hunting, my lord. We've come hunting kings. Though I am at first startled, it quickly becomes clear that this is just an act. The assassin gives me a wink, and I observe that their weapon is made entirely of wood and dull on all sides. They expect me to play along and foil the attempt on my life. Have at you, Swain. So again, window tax. Yeah, we're back at this. And parting demand, I will make no demands of him. It's been a memorable visit, and we shall depart Avranches. And we have arrived in Bayeux. Bayeux, actually, the place I was this summer. So once again, the same as previously, everyone is happy to see King Henri, and let's get to it. We think back to a grand tour we did earlier in the series down in Aragon. It didn't always go this swimmingly, to say the least. Out of turn, during my tour of Bayeux, I'm locked in conversation with Count Bouchard. Gilbert, ooh, he's not bad at 34. One should never speak out of turn. This is an unambiguous crime. No, you shall join me at court. Once again, another window tax. We're going to let him off for now. But I am seeing a pattern here, and Henri is, even though he's forgiving, his forgiving nature is kind of coming to an end. And the next time this type of extravagance comes to the forefront, I believe he will start taxing his vassals. And here it is, window tax time, Barony of Bayeux, and he will take that window tax. He lost 15 opinion. More. We can do even more window tax. We'll do it one more time. And we're overwhelmed by stress, and it's time to leave, and it's time for a tribute, because I am unhappy with what has been happening here. Hunting prowess. As I continue the tour of the grounds of the Barony of Bayeux, my host decides to take it upon himself to show off his hunting prowess. With everyone's attention fixed on him, Count Bouchard of Bayeux pierces a faraway stag through the skull with a single shot. Congratulations, Count Bouchard of Bayeux. But he is a hunter. Henri is a hunter, so he's going to try to prove that he is the better hunter. Dynasty Legacy is ready to be enacted. Power and Prosperity. We're going to keep going down. We're going to go down the law part, or language scholars. No, law is very important. So power and prosperity. So the construction cost goes down by 5%. Monthly stewardship lifestyle experience plus 10%. This is definitely the direction that he would go. And we have arrived in Évreux. The streets of Évreux are richly decorated for my arrival, and my vassal Count Melisande dutifully awaits me. So here we are, up for a boring, mediocre at best festival that dullard Melisande has had the decency to prepare. Thankfully, I'm here to show these people the extent of my magnificence. Let's get started. A loyal reminder, the sky above Évreux is clouded, and the gray streamers of the night start to wander around the narrow alleys. Countess Melisande's hold rises at the top of the hill, almost defiant. She could use a reminder of who she serves. I am king by divine right. The crown hangs over my head like the moon above all the other stars. No matter how brightly you shine, I will prevail. You know what? Let's just celebrate. He's not one to lord over people, no pun intended. A religious parade. Morgan invites me to join a religious parade. He assures me that Count Melisande watched over the preparations to give me the best parade the county of Évreux could offer. As he speaks, a group of locals pray to the god in a monotone voice. It's a truly boring experience. It's a pity to see that Countess Melisande of Évreux seems not so devoted to her faith as I thought. Learn a thing or two from her? No, actually, I would rather see a cultural parade. Now, we're going to look here. We still have more claims we could ask for. Actually, a few were added. Still have Bourbon and Savoy, or Savoy. Any other in here that are very... Navarra. Ooh, the Duchy of Navarra. That would be a good one to add. Just to add that so we can kind of grab that. So we are going to add that. And I think Bourbon will be another one that we will go for. The Khan is dead, thank God. Although a new ruler has been proclaimed, Count Galdan Bosuktu, he surely cannot be as horrifying as Argun Aga. Perhaps this is even the end of the Mongol aggression. Genghis who? Okay, and I now have... I have a claim on the Duchy of Navarra. So let's hit pause and scroll out. Mongol Empire is still together, but there are little flare-ups here and there. We'll see what that means. We've got quite a few uprisings popping up in what used to be the HRE, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on. A coin for a fortune. Off in a remote corner of the festival, I find an elaborately decorated tent. The materials and patterns are alien to me, so different from what I've seen back home. Its owner is stranger still, smiling at me knowingly above clasped hands. Ah, a king. I see much in your future. Come give me a coin and I'll tell all. A coin you shall have. Why? Because why not? The Feast of Fools. Revelry, joy. As I enter Evro's main square, I see a group of figures dressed as priests, singing and dancing. In its center, a half-bishop, half-jester woman presiding over the crowd. Countess Melisande makes an appearance, clapping her hands in joy. Now listen, friends, as Othelindis is now a bishop of fools, and her will is law, and her voice the voice of the Lord. What kind of sinful joy can we expect from her? I sure can't wait to find out. Such blasphemous festivity has no place in the realm. He's a paragon of virtue, so that's blasphemous. So he's not overly pious, but he is a paragon of virtue, so we're going to kind of lean into that here a little bit. But now we're getting, we can kind of see the Mongol Empire now from here in Cambrai and Hainaut. It's insane that the Mongol Empire's gotten this far. Ideally, it falls apart relatively soon. One of my servants approaches me holding my Count Guillaume's dagger in hands. Melige, while I was cleaning the armory, I noticed that this here weapon has rusted away to almost nothing. Count Guillaume's dagger. A worthwhile endeavor to make it gleam yet again. I cannot believe my eyes as Touricht starts gesturing towards Countess Melisande, what is considered highly offensive in Angevin culture. Countess Melisande of Evreux shouts and calls Touricht explicit names while her men hold her back. It seems like she is not going to calm down on her own. I have to do something to ease the tension. She's a courtier, content knave. She's an astute intellectual and a peasant leader. Hold on. It's just a misunderstanding, guys. I need to calm down. It's parting, and yes, I will make demands this time. The demand has been refused. Ooh, this will not soon be forgotten, Melisande. Not at all. Peace be with you. I have been a good vassal, and my contract is very restrictive, so she's going to change her vassal contract, unfortunately. A marvelous spring. I follow Count Melisande as she shows me the way around the festival, and now she announces as we enter the castle grounds what I expect to be a pleasant surprise. I raise my eyebrows when we find a marvelous fountain, all in white stone, with a silver pipe, and copiously running with clear juice. Some people gather around it, laughing, throwing coins as well. Let's all drink together. So drank from the fountain for 5 years, so popular opinion of +5. Stop on the way. Traveling through the muddy streets of Harcourt, people are a rare sight. Empty houses, derelict. A child plays with a dog in silence, then hides away when he sees our entourage. A local priest points at the lady's home, and we follow. My admired King Henri, Mayor Busilla, welcomes us in a dusty hallway. It's a big honor to have you visit our humble domain. If you'd like to, please stay for a night and join us for supper. Of course I will accept your invitation. The oil lamps cast a light so feeble that it's nearly imperceptible. The old servant serves us food, fish, unspiced. Mayor Busilla seems a bit too nervous, talking about the difficulties of ruling such a poor area, the impossible taxation. The last priest we had left after just a couple of months, she mutters, putting away the watered wine. She breaks into a crying mess immediately after. Bearing her face in my hands, I must be honest with you. My intention in inviting you here were to steal it from you. My lord, I hope you can forgive me. Here, Have this and don't steal ever again. Let's all forget that this happened. Why do I gain stress as forgiving when I'm forgiving her? Now you shall pay for this. My guards will have a chat with you. No, I mean, it's a little weird to gain stress for forgiving, by being forgiving, by acting forgiving. Anyway, we have arrived in Rouen, which is actually a very, very nice city. So it is time. He assures me that this is only the finest food he has to offer. Will offer near the standards of my own court's dinners. Well, we shall see. I'm gonna have another look here. Is there anything else we can do in the meantime? We can pardon some criminals. Oh, I think for right now, we're good as is. Once this tour is over, Henri will look at further expansion within the realm. A tasty treat. Truly, the meal this evening has been a delight. I have feasted on all manner of foods, savory and sweet. But nothing has quite enamored my appetite like these fine pomegranate cakes. No matter how many I eat, no matter how much I savor their taste, it simply isn't enough to get them out of my mind. I find myself becoming lost in them with each bite, flavor bursting into my mouth, bringing me one step closer to experiencing heaven. Though my stomach is packed tight, my clothing strained, I feel compelled to reach for more. They are too good not to. Okay, there's 0% chance we're going to die, 44% chance we'll get a stomach ache, and 54% chance we'll be full of desserts. What is he now? He is forgiving, lazy, trusting. You know what? Stuff me belly. And we lost stress, but gained stomachache for 5 years and have become obese. Okay. André Plantagenet no longer in alliance with Prince André because he is no longer a ruler. Our son has been made Duke Thierry's prisoner. Okay, an unwelcome guest after another dinner has been prepared for me during my stay, and it looks to be a real winner. I decided just to look at this succulent, steamy dish, and right as I am about to take my first bite, an irritating, familiar voice pierces my eardrums. My rival Bashira has arrived to spoil my appetite. Brings my blood to a boil. Count of Rouen has offered to remove this troublesome spawn. Yes, just get rid of her. Okay, I'm not a fan of this. We're going to pay the ransom. Duke Thierry. What can we do with him? No, I can't imprison him. And I can't ask him to release the prisoner. So what's the ransom here? Pay 100. He will not accept. Okay, he won't do it. But that's my son. You imprisoned my son. Revoke his title of the Duchy of Languedoc. An act of tyranny. He will not accept. He declines and will rise up in rebellion with other disgruntled vassals. That would be a little extreme. That would be a little very extreme. Okay. So what can we do? What can we do? You can't pay a ransom. If I just owe a hook, we're going to pay 100 and a hook. Ask him to let him go. He's a rapacious villain. I don't like this at all. Not even a little. Murder scheme won't really work. Oh, this makes me very, very unhappy, but we're going to owe a hook to let our son be freed. And then Languedoc will be a target of our ire. Yes, you've returned our son. But I am not happy, Duke Thierry of Languedoc. Story for Serre. Another evening of merriment draws to a close, and I have found myself locked in conversation with Serre, of all people. Ah, I want something light, not heavy. Now it is time to leave. I will make no demands of you. It's been an interesting day. And now we have arrived in Eu. And locals are all grandeur palm. Vassal difficulty dutifully receives me. And planned tour, etc., etc., etc. What you don't see, Count Gilbert has been quite the gracious host so far, showing me his lands and possessions with pride. So I'm immediately taken aback when he starts stammering and clearly trying to draw my attention away from an apparently unmarked door. Okay. It's only fair to share with your king. Pretend like I didn't see it. A quiet day. On my tour of you, I found a rare moment when I'm not being ferried around by my host or being expected to make an appearance anywhere. I see places of worship filling up for the day, taverns beginning to welcome their early drinkers, and beggars lay on the streets pleading for just a crumb to eat. To spend a day in God's presence. A census must be conducted at the settlement. An excellent opportunity for charity. I just want to relax. I'm just going to relax for the day. It's been enough. He's lazy, too. Can't forget that. May you live in harmony and contentment. I have been a good vassal, but surely you understand that subjects of my own too, etc., etc. And once again, it seems I have little choice but to have them change the contract. The benevolence of King Henri the Good is starting to bite him a little bit. Hook on you gained. Another favor hook. Taxable extravagance. So once again, the window tax. I'll let him off for now. If I see it too often, then not so much. Hey, he's no longer obese. So all he had to do was not eat for a while. Taxable extravagance, let him off. If it pops up one more time, then he's going to take the tax. Time for a tribute? Yes. I would like the tribute paid. And the tribute is paid. Learn language success. After lots of hard work, I finally learned the Iberian Vulgar language. Endless hours practicing accentuation, sleepless nights mimicking inflection, countless lessons mastering intonation. It was all worth it in the end. During my efforts, I looked to emulate Queen Estefania's accent. I am sure that she would be impressed by my results. And of course, Castilian peasants now respect me a great deal more. I feel pretty accomplished. Emperor Julien has become a new liege after Emperor Julien has died. So let's take a look at the new one at 41 years old, who is a craven, calm, chaste man. Clément Alençon, Count Aubry has a Clément Alençon. Man, I thought we were friends. And now it is time for another dinner at Duke Thomas of Orléans Castle. Well, let us begin. We're almost done. Orléans is the second to last stop. After Orléans, we will be in Poitiers and then head home. Council invitation. You've been a loyal and devoted subject. Shall reward you for your service. In recognition of this, I am hereby offering the position of Chancellor of Francia. Of course, I shall accept this, my liege. A choke? Oh, wait, this is the choking I can save him. I'm going to try to save him, and he died. Seems to be kind of standard operating procedure for these over the years. A little snooping. It is morning, and I emerge reluctantly into the waking world as the morning sun suddenly pierces my vision. I see a servant shuffling awkwardly around my room, unsteady as she sets my breakfast down beside me. I ask what troubles her, and even with such minimal provocation, she begins to vomit words forth. Oh, my wise and kind king, these walls talk. Oh, what terrible things they say. I know so much, too much. I think some days Duke Thomas of Orléans would never forgive me if I told you, but I just can't keep secrets anymore in my head. You should just keep it in your mouth shut. No. You must tell me at once. Oh, I've learned of Gilles de la Rochefoucauld's lover secret. It would seem Duke Thomas has decided to put on a performance for my amusement this evening. I sit at the feast table, eagerly awaiting my entertainment, when Duke Thomas of Orléans appears dressed in as my beloved Leonard. Think only of King Henri of Aragon and all the wonderful times we had together. Ah, how wonderful. In the eye of the beholder, as Guillaumet leans forward to pick up the trinket from the floor of the hallway, I, in turn, lean forward to get a good look at the defined muscles playing underneath the skin. You shouldn't purchase that type of you couldn't purchase that type of, but maybe if I surrounded myself with more of these fit individuals, simply must have her in my court, I am sure Duke Thomas would not mind. Parting, I'm not going to make any demands of the strong Duke Thomas. My guest, Otelindis, has approached me claiming to have been given Duke Thomas Orleans permission to come join his court in place of my own. Sure, go where your heart pleases you. I could not care less. And we are off to Poitiers, our final stop on the grand tour of the northern reaches of the Kingdom of Aragon. No churches? I visit a village while traveling through Châtellerault? Sure. And spend some time discussing matters of local worship with a particularly pious peasant called Frédéric. We don't even have a church here. Sorry about that. We have to travel for days if we want to step foot in the house of God. We could help construct a simple church. The makeshift temple, 25 years. We gain piety and spend 115 gold. We've got the money to spend. That's fine. Runaway are lost. As we manage to get through the dangerous path in Châtellerault, we decide to rest for the night. As I walk around the encampment, suddenly a strange feeling that someone is missing bothers me. I ask around and everyone agrees on one thing, that they don't remember seeing Arsène all day. That is worrisome. She's still just a child. What if she got lost somewhere in the plains along the way? She is probably lonely and, more importantly, starving. Let's mount a search party for her. I don't want to risk people lost. I'll find them myself. So, this is delayed by 14 days. Princess Alcinde, Princess of Aragon, rejoins our entourage. No, we'll send a search party out for our daughter. So he rejoins the entourage. And we have arrived in Poitiers for dinner. It's good to see my brother. We formally embrace, publicly marking the bonds of family. Geoffroy explains the planned evening banquet, promising the entertainments and victuals on offer will near the standards of my own court dinners. We'll see. Oh, we'll see. My alliance with King Lorenzo the Worthy of Castile has ended since Queen Mother Mencia of Alvarez and Prince Valerian of Aragon are no longer married or betrothed. Well, that's a shame. You know, we're going to propose an alliance anyway. Because Castile is just far too important to not be allied with. An interesting proposition. I am enjoying my quiet dinner with Prince Geoffroy of Poitiers and his acquaintance Duchess Charlotte of Poitiers. Mere moments after Prince Geoffroy of Poitiers excuses himself, Duchess Charlotte of Poitiers descends on me like a rabid dog. I am frozen in shock, quite alarmed, and it merely takes Geoffroy leaving the room for Charlotte to consider adultery with the nearest person. Please save me from this boredom. Geoffroy is no lover of mine. He is as loving as a piece of timber. No. Get off me, you shameless whore. I won't tell, but you owe me one. And we have formed our alliance with King Lorenzo that goes beyond marriage. Marvelous news. It seems I'm not the only honored guest at Prince Geoffroy of Poitiers' court. This evening I have been sat beside the fascinating Ulrika, and our conversation has left me feeling most elated. Alas, I too should be among the landed class, fair king. If the world were a just place, my righteous claim would be recognized, and I too would have a great dining hall to serve you in. It is rare that one finds such a fascinating person without a home of their own, but is there room at my court for her? Ulrike von Klingenberg? Duchy of Augsburg. She's got claims there. Of course there is. Unexpected wake-up call. I emerge from my Sumbler to find another peaceful night staying with Prince Geoffroy. Prince Geoffroy. Good lord. As I regain my consciousness, I feel something heavy beside me that wasn't there before. I turn to see Geoffroy sitting at the end of my bed, fully clothed, thankfully. Good morning, my king. I thought it prudent to give you a gift, and what finer gift is there than the gift of my conversation? This gift is certainly unexpected, but it is really such a pleasant thing to wake up to. What a wonderful way to wake up, to a chat with my brother. A choke. Oh, I can save him. Another man is choking. And he dies. Well, I'm leaving my brother, and of course I will make no demands of him. Another dinner has been prepared for me during my stay, and it looks to be a real winner. I salivate just to look at this succulent, steamy dish, right as I'm about to take my first bite. An irritating familiar voice. Oh, God, is Elweth. Get rid of her. Yes, please. And we are off back home to Angers. And blessing upon you and your house, I've been a good vassal, so Count Gilbert EU is going to call in that favor. Awesome. And the grand tour is done, and we are finally at home. And this is where we shall say goodbye to Henri for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. And if you want to support the channel in any other ways, there is a link to Patreon down below. So until next time, I'm Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon.